So, sometimes I lie awake at night, trying to fall asleep. And I think of lots of random shit. Do you want to know what I thought of last night?
What'd you think of?
Probably the coolest witch kill in any movie I can think of. I don't even know why it popped in my head. So I was thinking about Stardust. And how at the end, she drops the little voodoo doll. Well, it's not a voodoo doll, because I guess it's Stardust. So she drops the little doll in the water. And, the guy starts drowning in midair. And it was such a cool effect. It's like, I've never seen that before,
Yeah.
I just thought it was really creative, because a lot of movies, it's like, they don't really do it, Like, for Suspiria, that was just my big problem, where it was like, this is basically a slasher film. And you got one old broad hanging out. just hanging out, holding on. But, yeah.
So you appreciated the witchy power.
I did, and it was very
using
unique.
that to their advantage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. That it was a good kill. They didn't play any. They didn't hold back. I mean, some of her curses throughout the movie, man.
Yeah.
Like Homegirl on the chain. Didn't she turn her into a bird or something?
Yeah. Well, that was the other one.
Yeah. But some of their curses were like spot on.
I loved that movie. I loved all that she did. Michelle Pfeiffer killed it.
She was good. Love to see her as a witch again.
Yes. Oh, and also, so last Thursday, really random, but you remember Michael Angel from the Stranger Things party?
Yes.
Yes. He dressed as Dustin. He's amazing.
Yes.
So I got an Instagram message from him. And, it's one of those messages where you open it and you can replay it once.
Oh, yeah.
So I opened it, and it was him, and he had on a headset, like a hello operator. And he said, sorry. It really made me laugh. Oh, God, I have to compose myself. He said, I can't do it. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. You're gonna be like, this is
really
not that funny.
That's it. Okay.
He said, "You are not my mother. Who is this?"
Wait. Oh my God, I don't know.
Think about the headset.
Oh my God, why am I not? This is not clicking in my head right now.
You are not my mother. How did you get this number? Who is this?
Well, it's not When a Stranger Calls.
No, it's Scream 3.
Oh my God.
And I laughed so hard.
Did he do that just for you?
Yes, because he had on a headset. And I was like, where did you get that?
That's so random.
So then we just went back and forth for a while. Like, I responded, and I said, you know mother's voice when you hear it. Now be a good girl and turn on the news.
That's good that you picked that up. That's so awesome. We got to do another scene, by the way.
We do.
Yes.
But also, so he had commented or something. Oh, no, I had commented because Gennaro had, asked me a question on Facebook. And my response was, wait for the fucking movie. And it was kind of like I was referencing Scream 3, but also I was like, nobody gets that. So I was basically just using an opportunity to say that. And then here comes Michael, and he was like, are you quoting Scream 3? And I was like, just heart emojis. Like, oh my God, Michael. So yeah, thanks, Michael. It was fun. And then we just went back and forth and did trivia. Apparently he likes Scream 3 better than Scream 2, so we had to agree to disagree because...
Now, how come he hasn't done the show yet? I didn't know he was into horror like this.
He's into horror. Remember when the It thing was up on Hollywood Vine? He went every day after work. Because he works at the Pantages, so he would just go across the street and hop in. Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be a delight.
Oh,
Bring him on.
I mean, I'll ask him. I don't know if he listens to the show or not. But yeah, he's a big horror buff. He's big into it, so.
Very cool.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is Bitch I Ain't Scared.
Oh, hey, yeah, that's right. We're doing a show.
I totally forgot.
We're doing a show today. Yes, listeners, hey, how's it going? I'm the scholar, and yeah, this is our show.
This is our show, and I'm the fool. Welcome back.
Yeah, the podcast where we talk about horror and shit.
And shit.
Emphasis on the shit.
The shit. The shit? What I just quote?
Oh, God, you and these quotes today.
The shit?
No,
the shit.
It all sounds
You're about to be knee deep in the shit.
Now it's clicking.
What is it?
I'm put on the spot. Don't do this.
Come on, you can do it.
No, I can't do it.
No,
What is it?
you can
what
do
is
it.
I know
it's
it.
Clarence Williams III.
That's what I was thinking about. It's Tales from the Hood, right?
Yes.
Okay, see, that was in my head, but
shit?
I was trying to pick the part that it was at before I claimed it.
The shit? Oh, God. All the time with the cigarette halfway out his mouth.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Yes. So, real quick, there was an article that you shared about Ms. Lynn Shay.
So, Queen Mother, Lynn Shay, she is sticking to what she is good at. You know, don't fix what ain't broke. She is tackling a reboot this time. And, I mean, I don't know if she favors reboots or has a, you know, there are some people who don't really, like, they'll go into contract and be like, I'm not doing sequels. Just don't count me in. I don't care how much money it makes, you know? Mm-hmm. But, you know, she's down. She's chosen to be a part of The Grudge. And honestly, I don't think I knew that The Grudge was being rebooted until I read that Lynn Shay was going to be a part of it.
Had no idea.
No clue. So, we've already gotten a remake of this.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I said, directors, if you feel there's a story out there that could be told in a different way and you can, I wouldn't say improve it, but just change the game, have at it. But I don't know what you really can do with The Grudge.
Right.
And call it The Grudge.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, if you like the plot enough, make your own film. But you're calling it The Grudge for a reason. So what can you really change that has not already been done with Geller?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. And if the kid's not in it, don't do it at all. To tell you the truth. That's just me.
So are they going to keep it set in Japan?
I'm not sure. I would have to actually find the article. I only saw the headline, but...
Is she going to be playing the role that Grace... What's her name? Zimbresk? I don't remember her name. But
wasn't there a woman who was catatonic the whole time?
Well, she was kind of like quiet, but then she would talk once in a while. So she was like bedridden, not really
I would say she would do that, but that'd be a waste of her talent. So... I don't know.
Grace Zabriskie, that's her name. Zabriskie. I don't remember.
But it's interesting. I'm gonna wait and hear more about it before I pass judgment. I just don't see a reason for it to be double remake. You know, like remaked.
Yeah.
Come up with your own stuff. Don't call it The Grudge.
It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort at this point to like remake these movies.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows?
And there's still an audience for The Grudge, I guess.
Maybe. I enjoyed it when I saw it. I did. I even enjoyed the sequel. You know, that opening really just worked for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, while me and Tino were talking last week, I mean, remake One Missed Call. Fix something that is broke. You know, like, I actually didn't mind the plot of One Missed Call. It was just poorly executed. So, do that. Don't take something good and
yeah, don't remake Train to Busan. I know that no one's going to listen to me, but whatever.
It's gonna happen.
Whatever.
It's gonna happen.
But if you want to cast me in it, I'll totally be a hypocrite and make money. I will totally do it.
I don't know. So I'll just wait. I'll wait and see.
That's good. Wait to pass judgment.
So 2 things. I saw Strangers.
Yes.
Pray at Night. And if you recall, I kind of shit on it without even watching it.
So when I saw your reaction, I was like...
Yeah. I thought that there was going to be this big, heavy body count because they were in this mobile community and that it was just going to provide a lot more action and less horror. Foot in my mouth.
All right.
I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
All right.
But, from the trailer, it just seemed that it was going to just amp it up too much and take away what makes Strangers so unique. And I'll try not to spoil too much on this movie because it's still fairly new, but it involves a family, and that is it.
Okay.
Even though they are in this mobile community, something that hasn't really been explained, for some reason, they're the only ones.
That's what it felt like from the trailer.
Yeah, their reason for going there is so random. So, there's nothing really connecting the 2 movies.
Okay. Except
for the fact that the killers are the same.
Huh.
They did up the ante with the scare tactics. They still kind of stalked them and crept around them, and for our pleasure, fucked with them a lot. But when they finally let themselves known, they did it in such a way that I think was creative enough to call it like a really good sequel. Mm-hmm. I was on the edge of my seat, and I also was stressed out because all of the frustration that I got from that first one on how they just never, like the couple just never got the upper hand, and it was just, they were just waiting to be killed, basically. No matter what they were doing, they were just waiting. There was no hope for them. And this movie, just with all that frustration, I was like, are we going to go through the same thing again where this couple doesn't want to kill anyone and all this stuff? Like, it was just stressing me out. Like, do something, fight for your lives, do something. It was just good. And the audience, man, they were into it. Like, I had people yelling at the screen, and people were getting the feels. All right. And yeah, I had, folks next to me, like somebody almost got up out of their seat. It was just that intense.
Wow.
I would say that the characters were, I didn't hate them, but they really didn't give me a reason to like I was rooting for them, but I didn't care if they died or not, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, I guess I don't want people to die, but at them it's not like, oh, please die, like right now. It was just more of like, okay, this family's all fucked up. Because, like in the first one, the couple, their lives are kind of in shambles at the moment. Yeah. And they're in despair. It's the same thing. Like, it's not a happy family. This family's got issues, and obviously their love is being put to the test by defending themselves. But I liked it. I liked it.
So it was worth the decade's wait.
I would say that it is a good enough sequel to be like, join the Stranger family. I'm cool. If you want to attach yourself to the franchise, do it.
Okay.
I don't think they needed a decade to come out with this, though. I mean, just from that question alone, nah. But I was entertained. I go to movies to be entertained, and I got heavily entertained.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Go see the movie, guys.
Go see the movie. And so on top of that, I saw a trailer that I hadn't heard before, and it's called Bad Samaritans. Have you heard of this?
I've heard this title.
Okay.
Yes.
So these two guys, one of them, Robert Sheenan, he is mostly known, I think, for his involvement in the UK show Misfits, which is also getting remade for the US. But freaking love the show. I freaking love him. He's a great actor. But he plays one of two valets who work at a high-end restaurant. Mm-hmm. When they take your car, they go in, they punch home on the GPS, and they go home and rob your ass while you're having dinner.
Oh my God.
I have never thought to do that, but I thought that was so fucking clever.
Oh my God.
So
now they're gonna have to like put locks on GPSs and shit.
Exactly. So just think of the term Bad Samaritans, right? The term is Good Samaritans, so why are they bad? Well, they're criminals, but they are given the opportunity to do good because the latest home that they visit, they find a girl chained up in the basement.
Oh, of course.
And they're on a time limit because if that car is not back there, then, shit hits the fan. So he had to leave her there. But at the same time, he wanted to do good by her and get her rescued somehow. So I won't say too much about that. But the assailant, the guy who owns the house, who does find out that they have been in his house and they're on to him, and so he kind of stalks them back and forth, is David Tennant, our Doctor Who / Kilgrave / badass villain in the making. And he looks creepy as fuck in this movie. So if you were to watch the trailer, it looks amazing. It gives off Don't Breathe vibes up the max. Like, it's almost the exact same movie, except they're not stuck in the house.
Wow. So
it looks really good.
Decent.
So yeah, look for that. And if I'm correct from the trailer, it comes out this Friday.
Along with, or is that next Friday? I don't know.
So
Quiet
next
ones.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about
that-
this for next week.
is it-
for all of April?
But it's in April.
It is in April.
Okay, because I saw today and it said coming next Friday. I was like, does that mean this Friday that's approaching? Or
Yeah.
I was
No, A
confused.
Quiet Place is April 6th.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Guess I'll wait.
But my acrimony comes out, and I don't care what y'all say. That's horror to me, because that woman's going to creep me the fuck out. I can't wait.
She looks so mad.
She does look
Oh,
mad.
Taraji.
I know, just another angry black woman on screen.
Oh,
Really?
No. No. We've moved beyond that.
Yes. No, but I'm excited for that one. So, yeah, if they stuck with their first trailer, it said March 30th. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
And
And
did you want to talk about Thoroughbreds?
we can, okay. So I saw Thoroughbreds. I really wouldn't even classify that as a horror, to be honest, but
I mean, it's like a thriller.
ish. Yeah. It's kind of, I wouldn't even say horror. It's a dark comedy. There we go. Because there were parts in there that were to make you laugh. The characters were very eccentric, and you know, they do those shots where they're just sitting there staring at the screen and just giving face and all this. But the two women obviously had no emotions or empathy whatsoever, and their main goal was to kill one of the girl's stepfather, and it was just the plan of executing it that just was the whole plot of the movie. But I actually found it to be super slow.
Okay.
And it was a little too indie for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there is a huge meaning from it, but I walked out of that theater completely confused, and I don't know, there was just some stuff in there that was, I don't know, it was just a weird movie. But I'd be interested in reading more about other people's theories for me to understand what I watched.
Okay.
But in memory of Anton Yelchin, I miss you, buddy. And this was
his last movie.
his last movie.
Oh,
And
that's sad.
yeah, it sucks that we'll never get to see him again. And his role wasn't as big as I wanted it to be, which even makes it harder to say goodbye. But yeah, that was Thoroughbreds.
All right. Yeah, one of my other friends was like, "This was a piece of trash," and I was like, ooh, just like, it has 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't understand.
But I mean, you can take it from the literal standpoint of like, yeah, from the trailer we expected this like high octane, like kind of killer, you know, not a slasher movie, but just we
But
wanted
like more suspense.
Yeah, more suspense, and we got a very slow burn, like Wes Anderson type dark comedy, and
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, enough said.
enough said.
See it if you want to see it. I finally watched Annihilation.
Yes, I
Which-
want to hear what you thought.
Kind of brings us to, you know, the theme of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's like, I don't know where the fuck that thing came from, but still, it's like, it's affecting all the plant and animal life.
So you see my Wuzzles connection, right?
Yes.
Okay.
but-
And that was just
worst.
a joke. I know, but worse. Yeah, it was a
Worst.
rated R Wuzzles.
Puzzles in the world. Okay. Like, there's gonna be, I feel like these movies really make me just sit there like, mouth wide open, like, how fucking dare you do this to me?
Mm-hmm.
So, I actually liked it. I did.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
At the end, I did feel kind of like, what'd she say?
Yeah.
But then after I thought about it, I was like, no, I get it. I totally get it. Okay. Because even what you said, like, you know, humans, we resist change.
Yes.
I'm really lazy, guys, so I'm sorry. Spoiler alert all the way. If you haven't seen this movie and you want to go watch it, it's doing pretty good on Rotten Tomatoes. People seem to be intrigued by it, so go watch it. Otherwise, just listen up. I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay. So, yes, so it's led by Natalie Portman, who is a biologist, and she was also in the military. Her husband, Oscar Isaac, comes back from some sort of covert mission, and he's kind of weird, and then immediately he has to be hospitalized. And she finds out he went into something called the Shimmer. Really nice visual effects.
I love the yes.
I was like, I was so impressed.
Yes, very good.
And she meets up with some sort of psychiatrist, and she finds out that they. I'm such an asshole. Oh, it took me like 30 minutes to stop complaining
About
about the psychiatrist.
Okay.
Just the mere presence. But anyway, yeah, so she finds out that he had gone into the Shimmer and there's been all these missions, and so finally she decides to join this unit, and they're all women, and they go in to figure out what's going on, and it's all sorts of crazy fucking shit. I enjoyed the flashbacks because I was definitely like, oh, didn't see that coming, but I do remember at the beginning when Homeboy touched her arm, I was kind of like, he's real friendly. Well, anyway. But I liked it, how it kind of like, at the end, I was like, oh, I see, like, these flashbacks, I mean, they took place in different, it wasn't in order.
No.
You know, so I was like, oh, I like that kind of storytelling, sort of. But, yes, really well acted. I thought it was pretty suspenseful. Mm-hmm. I love Tessa Thompson and Gina Rodriguez, like very different characters for both of them.
I can't remember if I told you about it last time. Did I tell you that? Yes. Yeah. You came to the same conclusion. Complete opposites from what they've been used to lately.
Different. Yeah. Like, I mean, I've seen Tessa Thompson do all sorts of things.
Of course.
But lately, I think I've seen her like be, tough in some sort of aspect. She's not always like a superhero Valkyrie, but she's doing tough shit, So this was a nice change of pace for both of them. Natalie Portman's great. She's always doing her thing, She's good. But yeah, I enjoyed like when they finally figure out what's going on with like the light being refracted, and then that's why the creatures are changing and combining, and I was like, fuck that crocodile, because as soon as it opened its mouth, I said, does that bitch have multiple rows of teeth in its mouth?
Yeah.
Can we go back now? I'm done. I'm done right there.
Yeah. Some stuff ended up coming out beautiful. Other things came out a bit deadly, of course. Yeah. And I mean, let's get out of here. I'm not trying to kick it. Out of here. What threw me was the flower people. Like, that threw me so much.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, were there people still here? And then they just decided, I'm done. Because that's kind of what happened, which was really interesting. It was just so, I mean, it's kind of like it was like almost all over the place, and there was like 5 different worlds within this movie, but it worked for me. The moment that where my mouth dropped, and I knew that it was not good, was when Gina Rodriguez was like snapped, and she tied them all to the chair. And I was like, oh God, please, Gina, don't do this. But when you heard the voice, I was like, oh, Gina, don't do it. But when it came around the corner and it opened its mouth, I was so upset.
Can you believe how much self-control those ladies had to deal with? The fact that they were tied to a chair, no less. Like, they had nothing.
You could not do anything.
Nothing.
I was so mad. But then it would not leave Tessa Thompson alone. I was like, come on. She didn't react to it. Just leave her alone. I was like, okay, it's going to kill Tessa Thompson. This is horrible.
Yes.
But it's like, if you're going to stay in my face and like open your mouth, I'm going to get really scared. I probably am.
I mean, and here's the thing. Like, we have no idea what's in the Shimmer. We have no idea what this movie's about to bring us.
No.
Why not have a voice come out of a skeleton bear? Like, that was so that scene alone is worth talking about. That scene is worth watching.
Yes.
Just Gina, Jesus Lord, like, I'm sorry, Leo, you got an Oscar for getting fucked up, but I mean, Gina, she got it worse. Oh, she got it worse.
That was so
bad. That was some disgust, and just hearing her scream from it, like, oh God.
It was hard. Like, that whole sequence of them going up to the house, and it's like the plant people, and then when they walked into the house, and I was like, it's her house.
Yeah.
Does she not know that this is it's the same layout as her fucking house? And that's why he was like, this house looks familiar. He's like, I saw the house, it looked familiar. What the fuck? That whole sequence was just a trip. That whole thing.
For me, I don't know. The movie was just a little longer than I needed it to be. Again, Miss Jennifer J. I just can't with her. And then the ending was just a little bit too ambiguous, and I know it just gave off a mother vibe. I know it was trying to teach us something, and
So that's what I got from you when you said that. I was like, oh, because she was altered, and he was not her husband, but it's like, so he was altered, and they had each other, and they weren't about to tell anybody. Like, oh,
but she was the original, though.
She was the original, but she still had been altered because she was in the Shimmer. So it's like, for me, I took a lot of things where I was like, oh, it's sort of like Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
They left the garden, and the garden, like, completely disappeared.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, like, humans resist change. So if they knew that these bitches were different, they would kill them. They would want to dissect them. But it's sort of like they are the next... I mean, who knows what happens in the other books? I'd have to read them.
Yeah.
But it's like they're the next step in, like, making the world better.
Did you notice, like, this fascination in the guy's face, the one who was asking all the questions, when he was like, so you saw aliens? Is that what they were? I'm like... You just hospitalized one of them. Did you not notice his blood different? Did you not notice some of the changes or organs moving in his body?
I guess he wasn't different, I guess. The one guy, I feel like that was an isolated thing where they cut him open and there was all that.
True. I don't know. I just didn't think that our man-made human resources could help this person stabilize and you not know different from his body. It just seemed weird that they didn't come to this conclusion messing with him. And then I also didn't really understand the whole find my wife thing. Like, why would he tell him to do that?
I don't know. And I think maybe for him, I mean, that was part of his alteration being in the Shimmer. Something changed him, and because he was like, I used to be this person, but now I'm not. He's like, I don't know who I am now. I don't know what I am. Yeah. So he was like, I'm just ready to be done. Maybe he's like, I've seen too much in here. There's been too much. I'm just really confused. I don't know up or down. So I can't keep going on like this. And also, I think once we learn about the affair that his wife was having, I think he was just like, I don't have anything to go back to. So maybe you can go and fix this.
Well, so a random comment on one of these message boards that I read, somebody came up with the theory that this sort of Shimmer or the whole alteration or just in a whole, they were saying that Earth had contracted cancer, and that even though you may put it in remission, it never goes away, or that it still finds a way to continue flowing through your body, which represents the two of them meeting at the end. That was one theory. But I do want to read something for you. So this is a conversation that I had with a friend of mine who adores It Comes at Night. So we get into it because we're completely different when we watch movies as far as what we look for. He loves this movie a lot. And so here, let me just read this. So it says, let me get back to it. Okay. So he said Annihilation is godly, and he's read the novel.
Oh, okay.
So I said, interesting take. Looking back, Annihilation, I gave credit to an intriguing mystery and possibility, a fantastical overall message, but I didn't get one of the credit rolls. So what did I put? So I'm still up in the air with the movie, but some of the dialogue and the acting was a little weird. Like Natalie and Jennifer Jason when they were talking, and they were just doing this whole back and forth thing before they went in there, and she was like,
when they were in the room,
and she was like doodling. I was just so tuned out with that.
For that, I mean, I didn't take, I don't know, like, and again, it took me a while to like stop, just like, I don't even want to watch you right now, but I was like, okay, stop. Let's just watch these two characters interact.
Yeah.
So for me watching Natalie, I didn't feel like I had a problem with her. I think she was like trying to get to the bottom of shit, and she was like, bitch, if you don't quit fucking around with me.
Yeah. So
but she really was just kind of like, at the end, we find out. I mean, she's like, I'm about to die. So
she's like, whatever.
I don't care about shit.
So I was like, I cannot with her. I thought that this movie would change my mind because it's just so random that she's in this big budget movie. after, how many movies she's done lately. And then I was like, she just bored me. So he goes, oh my God, Jennifer Jason Leigh was one of the best parts of this movie. She nailed the character.
Oh, okay. So
apparently in the novel, she's supposed to act like this. So as far as acting goes, she did exactly what she was supposed to do.
I don't think she did a bad job. It's my own personal issue.
Yeah.
But, she's just like there and like, I don't give a shit.
So I said the woman looked high the whole time. And I said that when these women was getting attacked, she never pulled her gun at all. She didn't have any emotion in her face. I was like, what are you doing here? Why are you even there? How is she leading this group into this? Like, she just has no business being there. And then he replies, disaffection is what he wrote. That was the reason. She just literally didn't care. I guess she just lost all empathy.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I guess you can see that going into a situation like that where no one has come out except for one person and they're in a coma. It's like, yeah, I'm definitely going on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not worried about you broads. Like, y'all want to come? Great. Mm-hmm. Let's get it going. Because
he was supposed to dive more into why he liked it, but he never responded back. But he apparently loves it. He loves the sci-fi aspect of it and the biology message of it, because they talked about DNA a lot and all that. But
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty decent thriller. It scared me. It scared me a few times, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was like cheap scares. So
no, the music I thought was brilliant too. It was very similar to Ex Machina though, but I liked the music too. So I mean, it definitely had its stuff.
So they did a good job. But yeah, I've talked about it before. It definitely reminded me a lot of just a little bit of The Ruins.
Of course.
I think just being in this environment that's very strange and you're sort of like, you're stuck. Even though this was a big environment that they were walking through. But, oh man, that fucking plant started ringing. I was so mad. I was so upset.
Yeah, just like, the whole mimicking thing. Yeah.
I can't believe this is happening. Fuck these plants. Yeah. I think that's like one of two plant movies I can think of where the plants are trying to kill us, but they were really aggressive about it.
Yeah, I would say that from the list of movies that I've seen involving, plant life coming to life, in a very, vengeful or antagonistic way, that was the worst of it that I've seen. I mean, it just based on the fact that all it took was being a tourist to be subjected to this type of horror. God, you go to a place that you know nothing about and you don't listen to the locals. You just continue to do whatever it is that you want. And I think that if the majority has an idea, you may want to feel a little bit cautious, but nobody ever listens. And it was pretty deadly, The Ruins. Yeah. But I really enjoyed that one. And
I think that was based on a book too.
Yeah. These movies that have, that involve plants as their central villain, I mean, they're kind of like silent predators, like, Mike Myers and Jason and everything. Like, you don't speak, you don't know what they're feeling, you don't know their motivation, they just kill, that's it. And there's something about that I think is very terrifying when you're watching it, because it's also something that can't be explained.
Yeah.
Like, we live on your planet, and yet we act like we're still on top of this food chain. And when we see that you have, like, plants have an advantage, it's like, that just brings out a lot of things that we don't understand, and that's just what creates fear, to be honest. And like, that's why but you don't see a lot of these movies out, though. No. It's not something that people gravitate to. You don't see many directors and writers using this as a force.
And I probably wouldn't even want to see it, because when it happens, it's such a surprise. This movie, I mean, I thought I was expecting something to be inside of the ruins, like a creature that was attached to the ruins, but it's like, once you're there, it's like, no, bitch, you gotta or it's like, we're sacrificing you, something.
Yeah.
But like you're marked, you've been marked. But no, it's those fucking plants.
Now, do you remember them talking about like the reason for the curse, or why that particular sort of monument has all of this? Why hasn't it spread out?
And it's really interesting that it hasn't spread. But for some, I don't know. It's like it doesn't spread.
I can't remember if they ever gave a backstory.
No, they didn't give a backstory. I mean, but it's like once it's on you, it is in you, and you can't get it out. So that's why they were like, you got to stay. And I don't even know how. I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about, where it's like, how did this start, and how did they discover? Oh, it's here now. It's secluded to this spot. So as long as nobody touches it, and I think even like there was a deleted scene. I remember watching it on DVD, and I wish they had left it in, because at the end of the movie you see where it's like, what's her face? She gets away in the car, but you see the plant like in her eyeball.
Really?
So it's like it's not over. But then the scene they deleted, it was supposed to be the very last scene. You see somebody's at a funeral, and but then they show a guy who's like tending the graveyard, and he goes up to a tombstone, and it has her name on it. So it's like, it's not her funeral. There's a funeral happening over there, but it's like she's dead, been buried. But then you see him looking at something, and there's like this little like flower vine spiraling up out of the ground, and like they're covering her tombstone. So it's like she's brought it to the United States. Oh man,
that's crazy.
They should have left that in.
Yeah, that would have been a nice touch. But no, I really did enjoy The Ruins. I think that was pretty much the latest plant-like movie that we've had, 2008. So.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen anything like that. This was a big thing, I think, in the 60s.
There was some sort of weird alien plant movie, wasn't there?
Alien plant movie?
Maybe it wasn't an alien plant, but it was like a big, like these moving, like walking plants. They look like big sunflowers, and
I think. Let me see. I think I know what you're talking about. I'd have to look it up really quick. But
see if I can find like giant plant monsters. Giant plant monsters.
Where
for 400, Carl? Oh wait, it's not Carl. What's his name? From the from Jeopardy. What's his name?
Oh, Trebek.
Trebek. Yeah. Whoops. My bad.
I think I know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to look up the name.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on TV randomly as a kid.
The Day of the Triffids. Does that sound familiar? That was 62.
Oh shit! I got like Yu-Gi-Oh shit popping up. What the? I don't know anything about that. God. Yeah, that might be it.
Okay, and then there's like Please Don't Eat My Mother, 1973. And I think it was a parody of a Roger Corman movie.
I don't know.
But yeah, some of these, like in the 60s and 70s, like I never had seen any of these, but it was kind of their thing back then. And then Roger Corman, of course, came out with Little Shop of Horrors, and I was gonna try and watch that for today, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. But
you don't need to watch it.
Yeah,
you can.
But I hear it's pretty cool for what it was. You know?
I love Little Shop of Horrors. I'm just saying, like, it's already in there, Rob. It's in here. Come on, little shop.
Yeah. So I would say that musical probably awakened so many gay and horror things in me that I didn't know I liked. I mean, of course, I grew up with like Wizard of Oz and all that stuff, which we can talk about with those evil trees.
Those assholes.
Yeah, just throwing apples at people.
What are you talking about, my apples?
But I mean, something just made me gravitate to Little Shop of Horrors. I just love the music, and I just big giant Venus flytrap trying to eat people and talk and sing. Loved it.
I loved it.
I loved it.
That actually scared me as a little kid.
Did it really?
I mean, the plant, in a couple moments, he scared me. Like when he ate Mr. Mushnick. It was like, ooh, it's brutal. Yeah.
Did you ever see the stage play?
I was in the stage play.
Oh, nice. Who'd you play?
Guess.
I would say the dentist. Yeah, because you told me you always are the villain. So
my boy, I think someday you find a way.
So you sang and everything.
Tendencies pay. Yes.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, obviously then like the musical was altered to have more of a happier ending. This stage play is actually darker.
It sure is. We had no happy ending.
Mm-hmm. And then like they incorporated like Audrey's "Somewhere That's Green" song into the ending, like because she gave herself up. Yeah, she gave herself up or whatever. And
he eats her, and she's just like dying. So she's like, "Just feed me to the plant, and then you can go on living and." I'll always be part of the plant. Yeah, yeah. But then he gets mad and he changes his mind, so he tries to jump inside the plant and kill it from the inside out, but the plant eats him.
Just eats him, yeah.
So yeah, everybody's dead.
Oh, man. But that also brings me to another thing, too. It's like, for the most part, the ones that I'm aware of that involve plants are usually from an alien base. So, like, they even included body snatchers into this category because I guess they were plant pods or something.
Yeah, the original definitely looked like I don't know, like fucking bean pods.
Yeah.
And then the remake, it was like vines coming out from underneath the bed. Mm-hmm. Almost like veins, vines, very similar, but yeah.
Yeah.
It would come out from under the bed and go inside of you and copy you.
So when you see a plot like this using plants, do you have a preference, or is it, I guess, believable or scarier to have it come from an alien base or have it be nature bound?
I think nature bound is scarier.
Yeah, so do I.
The alien is like, it's more of a fun thing, especially because we have Little Shop of Horrors. But when it's like the ruins or even the happening,
yeah,
when it's just like, earlier you were talking about how it's like, oh, Earth has cancer. A lot of people would say that humans are cancer.
The cancer to the
Earth.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's like, that's why we had an ice age before. It was like, you know what? I don't feel great. I need to shed some of this nonsense.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the happening was. It's like, I gotta like trim the fat, man. I'm not feeling at my best with all these little bed bugs crawling on me.
So I was, when that movie came out, which was Friday 13th, by the way, and I was talking to this guy that I was going to like meet one day or whatever. And
Rob, what were you going to meet and do?
Oh, God, it was a date. Calm down.
Okay.
But we were talking about the movie he said he had already seen. I was like, yeah, I'm really curious because the trailer...
It's so mysterious.
Like tells you, they tell you everything except for why it's happening. And then he blurted it out.
Oh.
And I told him, I was like, I hadn't seen the movie yet. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry.
Like, well,
and I was like, you motherfucker.
Date canceled.
Right. But so I went in actually knowing what
I
the
knew
cause
too.
was.
My one of my coworkers told me, and I was like, oh, I didn't want to know that. She's like, oh, no, I mean, it's like, really early on. I was like, yeah, but I still didn't want to know.
Exactly. I want to find out like you did. But going into it didn't take away from the movie, in my opinion. Not to say that there is a better or worse way of going into it, but the trailer doesn't give any indication to that whatsoever. Not. So I actually wonder if it was my benefit to know before, because a lot of people didn't like that it was... That was
trees.
It. That was it. Oh, it's the trees.
The trees and the plants just sending out spores.
And I think that for the most part, I mean, look, I'm not saying that you have business not liking this movie. If you don't like it, you don't like it. My thing is that to me, it just comes from a very cynical place. Like, you can watch monster movies, you can watch a man who refuses to die, constantly kill people, but the idea of plants, like, defending their own is bullshit.
Right.
And I mean, again, I don't know what you expected from a man who made 6 movies prior to this, and you don't know how the man tells stories. Like, you should have known it was going to be something completely obscure or something you haven't seen before. And why the fuck not? That's my thing. But a lot of people really didn't like that it was just that simple. For me, I think it was just the really poor acting that was done. I don't think there were any interesting characters given to this story, and because it was so wide spread out with just so many random people, there was just nobody to latch onto because Mark Wahlberg wasn't cutting it. I'm sorry, I didn't really care too much about what was going on. The reason he was just in the forefront is because he was smart enough to know what was going on. Other than that, there was really nothing. I don't even know if there was even a reason to have a love story. I mean, surviving enough is, to me, a reason to have a 90-minute movie. But this generated love story between him and Zoe was just kind of a waste to me. And I'm a really big fan of M. Night, so, you know, you're hearing a lot of bad things, but at the same time, the plot twist of having it be because plants are so fucking tired of you polluting the earth is not a bad idea. And why not? I mean, you could have like these plants make you kill each other, but no, it makes you commit. So like that to me, I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I thought it. I mean, it's such a almost like a simple idea because it's not people hacking each other up. It's just the nearest thing I can do to off myself.
Mm-hmm.
The quickest thing I can do, I'm gonna do that. And I don't know. It worked for me. I liked it. But again, it's something that we don't see often. Even thinking about, I mean, there's lots of movies about mutated animals or just regular ass animals, and you happen to be in their space. What? They're going to eat you.
Yeah.
They're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Plants usually don't do that shit. I mean, Little Shop of Horrors, that's probably the exception to like a carnivorous plant.
Okay.
Well, no. So the ruins, I mean, they were carnivores. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, drying them out. I don't know what those plants were doing. I just don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, Audrey, too, he was eating. I don't think they've ever done any other movies where there was like a Venus flytrap or something like actively eating people.
But isn't it crazy though that when you see these movies, the survival instinct of it all is that these plants are so clever and just diabolical. Like they're just so like they know exactly what it is they got to do. I got to mimic a fucking cell phone because I know these humans react to it. Like, who does that? But just like, you know, Little Shop of Horrors, was it a woman plant or a man plant? I mean, I guess it could be both because plant life's like is just, I don't know, the mean green mother. So I always assumed it was.
You know, I mean, it like had little pods.
Yeah.
You know.
But just with that movie, like, there was an entire chessboard plot with his device, like get a man famous, you know, prey on the one who's weak and easily like converted. Like this guy, he wants popularity, he wants the woman. I can easily persuade him to get him to do my bidding, and then we'll be spread around across the world. Let me be famous, so everybody wants one of me. Like that shit was plotted. It was so good. And then, you know, with The Happening, it's like. And I love what the guy said. There was that interview where that guy went on TV and was like, the plant life is attacking us. And what you just experienced in these 24 or 48 hours was a warning. They were giving us a warning, telling you to stop or we will do it again. And then New York, you saw it almost happening again. Or was it Paris?
It was Rome or something.
Yeah, I think they were in
It had
Paris
moved to another continent.
And I was just like, man. Think about it, but yeah, they know what they're doing. They've been watching us the whole time, and they know exactly what it is that will get us. So
yeah. Now, when it does come to like animals, that shit scares me too, because I mean, even if it's mutated, it's just like a bigger version. So it's still a regular animal. It's just bigger, but animals gone amok, that scares me. Okay. I don't like going out into the country, really. I do like camping sometimes, but I don't do it very often for this reason. I don't want to get eaten. I do not want to get eaten.
Yeah.
That bear fucking up Gina Rodriguez, not cute. I'm not gonna do it. No. It was so bad.
That poor girl.
That poor girl.
Oh.
I'm not... and that's why I don't go in the ocean. I just can't. Sharks, squids, fucking jellyfish.
So you know what made me think of this when we were talking about this plot? You remember Creepshow? There was 2 examples of that shit. The first one.
Oh, the box?
Yes.
That fucking thing. I have nightmares about that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It scares me.
Wait. The box. What are we talking
The
about?
creature.
Yes.
I don't know. It's like some sort of like ancient creature that was in the box, and I don't know what it is. It's like a evil monkey with sharp teeth.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that.
I'm talking about that.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking about that.
No.
That fucking thing.
What I was referring to was the storyline that Stephen King did, where he was the farmer and the meteor came down, and all he had to do was touch it just with his fingertips, and then
what was it, moss?
Yeah,
fungus?
something like that. But it just turned everything to grass and plant life, and he just from the inside out, and then you could see that it was going to travel out into the world.
Yeah.
But then the other story about that couple who were buried alive in the sand up until their heads, and then the tide came over and they ended up all like seaweed people, and they were gargling and can you hold your breath? Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was telling that story to Tino last week. That's what was like super scary when I was laying in bed. That's what I was watching. But it's just little stuff like that, man. Like, you just don't want to think about plants just taking over. That's just...
You just made me think of something. This is not horror, but did you ever see Don Cheadle as Captain Planet?
Oh my god, that was the best thing ever.
That was the most brilliant shit.
Yes, I really love that.
Planet, motherfucker. Did you see it all the way through?
Yes.
So at the end, it was like everyone was a tree. Everyone was a tree.
There was this part
the planet was cleared up.
I can't remember exactly what triggered it, but I don't know. They just decided to put the camera on him, and he was smiling so hard, and then all of a sudden it just turned into this frown and this mean-looking face, and he was just not having it anymore. He was done. He was like, "Oh, you people just need to die." It was so good.
Yeah. It was so random and amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. It was kind of sad though. It was sad because it was like, oh look, once everyone was not a tree anymore, the planet went back to shit. Like all the air was no smog, everything was green and clear, and then it was like, it's back to like being sepia toned. This shit sucks. Oh.
And then there was the whole cloning aspect with Goosebumps. Stay out of the basement.
Yeah.
That
was so weird.
Yeah. That whole episode, I think it was literally the whole episode. The minute you saw the dad, he was a replica made from, plants
dad
or whatever.
In the basement.
Yeah. That was a really creepy one.
It's a good book. That's so long ago.
Did you see the Swamp Things? I think we talked about them, but I can't remember if you have you seen those? No. What did you think of those?
Like
Are
when
they
I was
any good?
little.
Yeah.
I do remember Swamp Thing being on TV, but I don't really have a good grasp of it. I mean, when I was little, I thought it was cool, and then there was a cartoon. Liked the cartoon.
Oh, was there?
I think I had like some little like tiny mini action figures that I probably got from like Burger King. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cartoon I think was better than the movies because I don't remember. I almost had it. It was like Dr. Arcane or something. I think that was the villain's name. In the movie, he changes into some creature, but it's like some sort of weird like boar creature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nah, bitch. In the cartoon, you know what he turns into? Take a wild guess what he turns into, Rob.
This plant or this guy?
The villain.
The villain.
What kind of head do you think he has? Like, what do I not want to see in the morning?
Like a spore or I don't know. What did he... Oh, a spider. You're kidding.
Fuck that shit. So, yeah. And then his other, I don't know, not his partners, but his cronies. They all had different sort of like animal heads, but that was his. So, good cartoon, didn't last, but, it was fun.
So, universal question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually think there's something to the idea of plants sort of observing, watching us, waiting for that right moment to just come out at us? Or do you think it's completely nonsense?
I don't think that plants have an agenda.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that it's out of the realm of possibilities for the planet to fight back. And I think the planet is doing that now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we've abused it. We've trashed it. The ocean is disgusting. The fish are eating plastic. We're eating the fish. We're all becoming plastic. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for our cell reproduction. That's why we have cancer. That's one of the reasons why we have cancer.
Yeah.
Our environment is trash. We don't take care of it. We're the only ones who can take care of it. This isn't on the other plant and animal life around the world. And people forget that we are animals too. So since we're supposed to be smarter or the most intelligent beings on the planet, we should probably start acting like it. Otherwise, the planet is going to fuck our shit up. And I don't want to die from an angry planet, but also I won't be that surprised if it happens.
Yeah.
So.
I don't necessarily believe that it could happen. What I will say is that they don't have a voice. So I don't litter. You know, like I try and keep everything clean as best as I can. And, just because they can't speak for themselves, and I say they just like plants, but I'm just saying it's just like they, do your part. Like there's just no reason to destroy your own shit. Like you're destroying your own home. That's like going home, throwing crap on your floor, not giving a shit.
You gotta respect life. And I mean, like any good horror buff, you're not about to go into some haunted ass house and start moving shit around, right? You're not gonna bring a Ouija board with you. You're not gonna just like go into some ruins and be like, what does this lever do? You're not gonna do that because it's gonna chop your head off. So why would you go out into the world and destroy shit? We need to start rebuilding. I don't know. Sorry, I know you guys weren't like expecting all of this, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, I really do feel like the planet is fighting back. I mean, if you look at the weather and the way that it has changed, and the weather that we have had in like the last 6 months alone, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, like it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, don't be surprised and don't come crying to me or Rob when a tree punches you in the face. Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the trees from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
they were kind of scary too, actually.
Yes, they were.
I mean,
nobody wants a tree to come alive and start throwing stuff at us. But then we're obviously like, ooh, look at that. You have things that I want from you, so I'm just going to pick off a little limb.
But he totally slapped the shit out of her hand. That's so funny.
And you've seen, I actually finally looked up that scene and saw the person hanging themselves in the back.
What?
You heard of this?
I mean, I've heard of it, but I was like, no. Somebody was like, oh, there's nobody there.
I saw it. I thought I saw something.
I've looked it up, and I think it's a myth. Because like people will be like, oh yeah, it was an actress.
Well, I don't think it was an actual person hanging themselves, but just the imitation one.
I've seen something where it does look like someone's hanging.
Yeah.
I was like, look, y'all. I'm sure she didn't do that. I'm sure she moved on with her life when she was not cast as Dorothy Gale.
Yeah.
But yeah. Good shit. So, moral of story, just treat the planet nice. Don't fuck with animals. Some mean. I saw I'm not gonna say it. It's depressing.
Okay.
But yeah, don't torture animals. Like, what the fuck? Don't torture people either. But we cannot verbally communicate with animals. They can't tell us how they're feeling. There's no reason to hurt animals. There's just no reason.
Yeah.
A human might need to get slapped in the face. But, you can tell them before, I'm slapping you in the face because you're a dick. Well, do you have a bitch really?
I do.
Awesome.
All right, it is time to close out our show with this week's Bitch Really.
Dun, dun, dun.
And this one is pretty basic. It's just one of those things that sometimes you see people do and it's just like, why? But, I mean, they got to do it. Why not, right? So this does come from The Happening. And, our lead character, Mark Wahlberg, he finds out that plants are the cause of everyone committing suicide. And so there is a scene that takes about 2 minutes where he actually tries to talk to the plant and apologize. So here's one of two things.
I don't even remember this part.
You are talking to plants. Why? It's just why?
People talk to plants.
And you're apologizing for how many years? You really think that you apologizing is going to fix it all? Bitch, really? Like, you really thought that this little conversation was going to save your life? I just thought that was a hilarious scene that I was reminded of with The Happening. There was an actual scene written where this professor decided to talk to a plant and reason with it.
I don't remember this at all. But hey, I guess in desperate times, it's worth a shot.
Well, that's the other thing. Desperate times. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of special.
Bonus bitch, I ain't really.
Okay.
Because it just really pissed me off. Jennifer Jason Leigh in Annihilation. When Natalie Portman wakes up to go relieve her, why is her bitch ass on the ground? You are in a watchtower. Watch. Like, why did you think it was good to go down on the ground where you can't see shit?
That hole was not appealing whatsoever. I mean, I don't know what kind of answers I really want, but if you really feel compelled to go into that little anus,
I'm not talking about that. I mean, yeah, that was she really just didn't give a shit. No, yeah. I'm talking about when they got their first stop off after they saw Homeboy cut open the one guy, and they were in the watchtower, sleeping.
Yeah.
And then she went down to the ground level because she was like in some sort of little, I don't know, hut.
Oh,
right before Homegirl got killed. So she's responsible for the first death. Like, why were you down there? And then everyone else comes down. Like,
I can't with her. Really, I just bitch really.
Bitch, yeah. Really. Yeah, I was so angry. So angry. So.
All right.
Well, 2 for the price of 1.
That ends our month of March.
Yay. Happy spring.
Happy spring. Yes, we're going to lead into April.
Did you see that meme? Is this your spring?
No, I didn't see that one.
It's Killmonger, is this your king?
Oh, really?
Because like after the first day of spring, then New York gets hit with a snowstorm and they were pissed.
Oh, okay, I get it. No, I haven't seen that. That's funny.
I mean, it's not relevant now. A week later, the snow's melted.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. Well, okay, so I was just going to say, so if you listen next week, that's just the start of our April month. We are going to do Netflix and nominations, and drum roll, our nominations are based on sci-fi. And this is a subject we actually haven't even touched before.
Not really. So, I mean, here and there.
Good opportunity to start. So we're going to nominate our best, or one of the best and one of the worst sci-fi movies we've seen. Mm-hmm. And then later on the month, we'll probably devote an episode to it. So this will be exciting because sci-fi is not really my forte. It's a little bit of a hard sell. I'm a little biased. I think
that I think I actually enjoy it.
You really? Okay.
I didn't realize that I enjoy sci-fi horror until today.
Interesting conversation we will have. So yes, tune in next week. We'll talk about some horror movies coming out in April. We actually have like quite a few theatrical releases coming out.
We do.
So I'm excited for those. So yeah, thank you all for listening once again. This is Bitch I Ain't Scared. Look us up on all of our social media. Comment. Let us know what you thought of our episode. And of course, on iTunes, give us that 5-star rating to expose us to others so they can bask in the amazing that is our show. And we love to hear from you guys and your suggestions on how you'd like the show to go. Is there a movie, anything that we should watch? We'd like to know. So again, we appreciate you coming back to us every week.
Yes. So we'll catch you next time, kiddies, on Bitch I Ain't Scared.